Today's guest is a student of mine. Well, I should say she's a graduated student because at some point, you move on and you start to navigate life after the Second Half S.P.A.R.K school. And she has done an amazing job. She was a star student. She showed up for the coaching calls. She showed up for the homework assignments. She did everything she needed to do to absolutely change her life, like do a 180. And she was really struggling. And she'll tell the story. She's been on my podcast. I had her on probably about a year ago to tell her story, but she has one of the more profound transformations of one of my students because she had a physical transformation in that she was so burnt out that it was causing health issues. And so she talks about that, but how it's incredible, the story. It's like she did a visualization with Alex Paulos, who does typing. His team does personality typing for my students. And she actually did a one-on-one with him and did a visualization. And the next morning woke up and a bison hump, which is basically it's a stress-induced lump that she had on her back, her upper neck, and she'd had it for years and it was gone. It was gone. And so that just shows you how stress and being misaligned with who you are supposed to be, how that can harm us in very drastic ways. She said her father had bison humps. I don't know how many, but she said he had surgery to correct it and it came back. So of course it came back because her dad didn't understand that it was something that no medical surgical procedure can help you with because it's something deeper than that. And so she has done so much work and she's so happy. She's so happy and aligned with her authentic self, with who she's supposed to be in the world. She did the work. She figured it out. She is like my favorite type of person to work with because she was ready. She was ready. And at the time, I don't even think she knew what needed to be done. She didn't know. She just knew that she needed help. She knew that she was somewhere, she was in a hole and she needed to get out of that hole, but she took massive action and she's getting ready to launch her new business. And she's so excited and I want to support her in that. And so I said, come on the program. Let's talk about anything like this is inspiring because if you're in a place like she is, just know that there is a way out. It does take work, but it is so worth it when you get to the other side. And yeah, maybe it's a little scary, but man, it's scarier to stay in that hole. It's like scarier to like feel the feelings that come with being stuck and being not who you're meant to be. I mean, she knew there was something wrong, and we often we know something's wrong, but we just don't know what that is. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing these stories, because when you finally take action on it, it just gives you so much clarity on where you're supposed to go and who you need to be. And it's you want to grab all the gusto that you can in this life while you still have time. And so Nancy is an amazing human being, and she is doing the work that she's meant to do. And she's so lit up about it. And because of that, she's lighting up the world around her. And she made me feel lit up just talking to her for these like 35, 40 minutes that we were on this interview. So with no further ado, let's get to the interview now. Hi, I'm Laurie Wright, also known as Not Your Average Grandma. I created this podcast as a place to go for midlife inspiration. If you are in a stage where you believe the best is behind you, it is my hope that one of these episodes will ignite a long suppressed or unrealized desire, and you will see the potential within yourself just waiting to be tapped, so you can do amazing things with the time you have left. I want you to stop seeing your age as a limitation and start seeing it as your superpower. You have years of experience and value that a younger you never had, so it's time to lean into that and use it to fuel your future. No more letting age hold you back from the pursuit of a more passion-filled life. The more passionate we are, the better the world will be. So stop settling for average, put your AirPods in, and let this episode inspire you to take the first step in transforming your mind, body, and soul. Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Lives. And today I am super thrilled to have one of my favorite people as my guest, Nancy Dubé. And Nancy is a student. I say people are my students because you're always going to be my student, but you're really a graduated student. So one of the things I wanted to do, and I love to bring people on who have had amazing transformations, and Nancy is one of my star students. So welcome back, I should say.
Yeah. Hi, Lori. Thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nancy is, as you can tell, her English is not her first language. She is French Canadian, and she has she has quite a command of the English language, I will say. And I remember when we first met, you were always apologizing about your English, and you are so good at English. I always am so envious of people who can speak more than one language because I can't. So you do an amazing job. So I want you to basically tell the audience about who Nancy is and how we kind of came to know each other, because you joined my program about 14 months ago.
Yeah,
and so much has changed in your life since then. And I'm really excited to catch up. I know we've had a conversation recently, so but a lot of this is going to be a total catch up. We're going to go into more detail than we had a chance to on that quick phone call. But yeah, so let's do this. So tell me where, now I know you're getting ready to launch a program, but let's go back to where you were 14 months ago and how we met each other.
Well, then 14 months ago, I was a full-time nurse working really hard. And with COVID and all the extra work we had to do, I got into a burnout and I had to stop. And I couldn't find my way back. So I decided to look around to find a coach. And I saw many coaches on the Facebook ads and everything. But when I saw you, I really had the feeling you could help me. It was like inside of me, there was like a little voice telling me, oh, she's the one. And that little voice was right, because you really did help me a lot. And I want to thank you while I'm here. I really thank you for bringing me here, but to helping me then, because you made a great difference in my life. And I am so appreciative about it.
Oh, so well, I also want to say that, it takes two. I mean, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make a horse drink. And so, and you have always shown up completely willing and completely open. And you took major action. And I remember not only, you make it sound like you saw my ad and you signed up, but, you, as I recall, spent kind of all the money you had in the bank at the time. So,
absolutely.
So it was a big roll of the dice in a way, not really knowing me, but yeah. And then you had a dream, as I recall too, that further, I think, gave you the confidence to do it, because you were, even though you didn't know it at the time, I think you were tapping into that kind of like higher self that was, saying, this is what you need to do, Nancy, this is what you need to do. And you listened and you paid attention and you acted on that.
Yeah. I always was quite intuitive in my life, but working as a nurse, I didn't have time to be in touch with myself. It's like I was at a place in my life where I was not in touch with myself anymore, and you helped bring that back into me, and made me decide that the rest of my life I want to be authentic with myself and do what my soul wants to do.
Yeah.
So
tell me about, before, so people that are listening can kind of like relate to you. So you said you were kind of looking for a coach. What was it? You said you were in the state of burnout, but I don't really believe that you realized how burned out you were until you got into the work. So what was it that you were feeling? Like, what were those feelings that you were feeling that made you think, I need help?
Well, I've been like working 20 years in schools as a special educator. And with the government cutting hours because they didn't want to spend money on kids, I had to change career. So at 50 years old, I went back to school and became a nurse. And because I always love helping people, and I was saying, like, being a nurse, they will never cut my hours. They always need nurse everywhere. So I did that move to be safe, have a secure job and secure money. But working in the hospital, I was good and I love what I did with the patients. But the administrative functioning of hospitals, I didn't like it. I felt like I was a slave. I didn't feel good.
And this was in the midst of COVID too, because this is like 2020 when all the shit hit the fan.
Yeah, it really did. And I said, no, I cannot take it anymore. I couldn't take care of my patients because I couldn't talk to them. I couldn't give them everything they needed because they were more busy about putting gloves and washing hands and putting masks than the care we were giving to patients. So it was really, really hard. And I didn't want to do that anymore. And I was like 59. And I said, am I going to start all over again and change what I've got to do? And you talked to me about being a coach, because I told you that I did that almost all my life, but without pay, because I always help people in my life. And you asked me why I didn't take the time to become a real one and do what I had to do with it. So I put some thought into it, and I was going to do that with traumatized adults that lived traumas when they were kids. And so I was thinking about that. And after a while, I felt like I was going in circles, and I didn't know why. And I had a ha-ha moment about what I loved the most was when I was working with kids. I really, really love kids. And I said, well, why not create a program for them? And why not spend my energy doing that and going back to what I love the most in life, and not having the government tell me what I've got to do and at what time I've got to do it, and give what they really need. Because I found out that I was working in primary schools, so it was kids from 6 years old to 12 years old. Me, I was working more with 8 to 12 years old. And I found out that the best age to put some seeds into their minds is between 8 to 10. This is the real range of age that if they suffered when they were young, a loss of a pet or whatever, life happens, and there's some stuff that they can clean it up in that time, when they're between 8 to 10, because after that, their brain is more to social, meet some friends and play and do stuff like that. And when they're younger, they're in their imaginary minds. So they're not ready to plan their life or plan some future or use those kind of tools. And
yeah. So I want to go back to, because, you're talking about like where your mind eventually came to.
Yeah.
which takes time because, and it
Yeah.
takes sitting with, kind of the silence, the desires, and kind of navigating what lights you up most, what, and that took a little bit of time. But when you first started, I remember, and I want to clarify for people that she was working in a hospital, but it was a psychiatric hospital. So it wasn't like, just the kind of hospital where you're caring for patients who have COVID. COVID was a thing, right? It was a fear. But, the thing that I remember you saying is that they only give me 15 minutes for each patient. And you had to fill out all these forms. So your entire world, that the thing that you wanted to help people most with, you couldn't, because you were in the structure that would allow that. And so how frustrating that was. So you couldn't serve in the way that you could serve best in the world. And you knew, and that's like misaligned with who you're meant to be. Right. And so all you knew was that you were miserable, right? It was like you couldn't put your finger on, like, why am I miserable? And then we went through the whole exercise of getting typed, and you found out like structure is like lethal to your kind of personality, and you had all this structure in your life. And so one of the things that I look back and I think, and why it was so amazing for you, and you didn't, and it's probably because of age, because I was the same. I was very similar to you. I'm like, I don't freaking want to waste any more time. So I want to get to it. And you took massive action and you went on sabbatical. You just chose to like, okay, I am going to take drastic action here, because I know I'm not where I want to be. And in order to expedite the process, I need to take some massive action. And so like,
but that, I did
what happened? Yeah.
I did partial sabbatical because I'm still a nurse, but I decided to work for an agency. So once in a while I go up north in the 55th parallel, and I work with Inuits. And I'm working for COVID right now. So that's where I'm going to be all month of February this year. And that's why I'm launching my business March 8th. Not launching, but starting my program March 8th.
That's so exciting.
Launching,
yeah. So you took, this bad situation that was causing health issues, which we can get to shortly, and you took massive action but you kept like you, and I remember us having this conversation. You like, I want somebody to take me step by step through what I need to do to build my business. And so, you just kept taking action, and you took a sabbatical, but then you went and did something that you could do while you could still earn money, but yet it wasn't like threatening your health. It wasn't creating this like burnout that you were dealing with at the time. And you've continued to move forward and get more clarity, which I love. And now you know who you want to help, and you'll continue to get more clarity, because as you help these 8 to 10-year-olds, then you're going to learn more about how to make it better, and how to, market to them better, and etc. So so talk about your health and what was going on with your health.
Well, besides the burnout, you want to talk about the
So how did you know, like I remember when you had your typing session with Alex, I remember that you were kind of surprised that he could read that. Like, I believe he said that your adrenals were like in bad shape. I think that's what he said. I don't know how he said it.
I had a lot of inflammation. My face was all puffy, and not only because of the weight, but because I lost a lot of weight. I lost 160 pounds. So for me, it was not, I didn't realize it was still inflammation. But when I look at the pictures now, I see a big difference in my face. And I had I forgot, a bison hump.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I'd never
But
heard of it until you told me about it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And my father used to have that, and he had surgery, and the came back, and he could never get rid of it. So I thought I could never get rid of mine, and I didn't feel getting a surgery for that. And I had the typing with Alex, and the next morning it was gone overnight. I just touched my back, and I said, oh wow, there's no more bumps, and it never came back. So it's like over a year, and it never came back. So that was like a little miracle for me.
Yeah, and I also want to clarify, because we did the typing session, but you wanted more, which he has the opportunity to work one-on-one with him.
Yeah,
and so
After the typing,
you did the one-on-one with him, and you did this visualization, which was a lot of forgiveness, because you have trauma in your past and a dysfunctional family, and you went through this visualization. And I remember when you messaged me and you were like, oh my God, Lori. And I was like, I got chills. I still actually get chills when we talk about it, because, and then you had a second one, which dissipated over like a couple of weeks time. But the one,
it was in my lower back.
Yeah.
That took a little longer, like 2-3 weeks. But the one in the neck, the next morning it was gone. So that was fantastic.
And it's never come back.
Never.
And isn't it sad when you think about your dad and how, like how there's people like your dad who have this problem and they have no idea what is causing it. They have no idea that there's actually a solution to it. And it's up here in your head, and not like any surgical removal method that will get rid of it. It's just crazy to think that.
But him having the surgery made me realize that it wasn't a surgery that was going to help. It was something else.
Because it came back.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that working with Alex would, do the job, because it's gone, and I'm so happy it is.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you have to be receptive, right? To that process. So, and it's never come back.
No.
Because you're staying in alignment with who you meant to be. If you went back and said, oh, this isn't working, I need money, I need security. If you went back to those reasons why you did your nursing in the first place, which was out of alignment, even though it made sense.
Well, I did some, because when I was going up north, it's contracts for like a month, but it's not the same environment. And it's like if I'm my own boss. So for security, it was like if I work 1 month up north, it's like 3 months worth of salary here. And you meet all kinds of interesting people. So I do that once in a while. And I'm going to do my last one in February, because I'm starting my business, and I'm where I want to be now. So
and you're also being driven at a deeper, more fulfilled level by something greater than, So you know that this, what you're doing, even though it's for financial security, it's to get you to that place that you already can see, right?
Well, what I've always noticed is that when you're aligned, it's like all the doors open for you. You don't have to knock at the door constantly. One door opens and another one opens, and it goes smoothly. It's a lot easier. And in the past few months, all the doors have been opening. Every time I had a question, the answer would come. Even the last course I took because I needed a step-by-step coach to do the business work, because I couldn't do it on my own, and it was specific to my needs. And like 2 days after, I found the last coach that is exactly what I needed to have, and I'm so happy. And you took me out of my burnout into the good line to walk on. And after, the doors started opening for me, and it's a total change of the world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
and
then I love
my
the whole like thing with your boyfriend, your long-term boyfriend. So
yeah,
she's
yeah,
got a partner that she goes through life with, and he's been super, super supportive of you ever since the beginning. He's
yeah,
been supportive of you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got absolutely no doubt that I'm going to succeed because he saw me work with the kids, and he was reminding me, do you remember you come home and the school didn't pay you for this and that, and you would go buy some stuff for the kids and do all kinds of activities and create all kinds of stuff just to make their world better. And so he said, doing that, you'll always be enjoying what you're doing in life, and giving what you love kids, and so you're going to be able to love them and give them what they need the most, and help the parents feel secure knowing that their kids get every tools they need to be have more self-esteem and be able to navigate in this new world of computers and COVID and isolation. And so they'll have some tools to be able to walk through all of this. So, and he never gave up. And every day he tells me, I believe in you. I'm there for you. And don't worry about the money, and don't worry about this and that. And everything's going to be fine. So I'm really, really, really blessed to have this man in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so, and I think, making the sacrifice for yourself, sacrificed for that, giving him a better life, giving your relationship, an injection of, more than what it was capable of having when you weren't your best self. So that's amazing as well. But I like to think that, the path that we've walked have, given us what we need in terms of wisdom and passion about, what it is that we're supposed to do in the world. And sometimes it takes us longer to accumulate that wisdom than some. I know for me it was. But, what I love is that you finally realized that it was kids. And how you started thinking, well, I think I need to help people like me who have suffered from trauma. You hate Christmas because of how dysfunctional your family was, and holidays were not a fun time for you. I remember that really, really vividly. And so what I love that you're going to do is that, because I often wish I had all this knowledge from when I was a kid. Can you imagine how powerful the world would be as a collective if children got this knowledge, instead of some of the stuff that they learn that then they don't want to even ever remember. So I love that you, instead of like the older version of Nancy and helping somebody who, kind of late in the game, and it's great for people who want to do that. And that's who I help, really. But going back to those children that, like, their lives and the lives of, their future is going to be so different because of what you're going to teach them. And that's correct. That's so powerful. Yeah.
I remember my nephew that is now 36. When he was a kid, my parents would buy him some great gifts, like $500 gifts and everything. And me, I never wanted to give him these kind of gifts that were like competitive. And I wanted, it was always a card with, we're going to have a day together, a fun day. So we would do all kinds of experiment, go to, I don't know, like not skydiving, but doing stuff always in
an experience,
balloon or do some stuff that other kids don't do usually. Or so, and to this day, he doesn't remember the gift, the $500 gift. Or he says, oh, yeah, I had that. But you remember you. And it's that kind of gift I want to give, some that the kids going to remember, and the tools they're going to remember, and they're going to give to their kids to to feel good in life, and now I love my life a way I never thought I'd be able to be happy about it. And it's, even though we're in COVID, I've never been so happy in my life, so I'm doing all kinds of stuff that I adore, and every day is a new day, and it's shining and it's joyful, and that's what I like to do. And as my boyfriend says, like we don't put the Christmas tree, but we keep lights on, the Christmas lights on all over the house and all year long. So we say we celebrate our Christmas every day. So good food every day, and so nice hugs and kisses, and being gentle to one another, and giving gifts to one another every day. So we celebrate life together.
Yeah, I saw a post that you did recently with the two of you looking at the lights that of a string of lights that was over a wardrobe, and it was powerful because you were looking. It was your backs that you were seeing your backs. And I remember thinking, wow, Nancy is little. she shrunk, But you're really tall too. So that's another funny thing.
I'm 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
I'm 6 foot tall, and he's 6'4". So we're tall people. We're giants.
Yeah. So that made me think that it's so funny we were talking about this, because my 5-year-old grandson loves trains. And for Christmas, his parents got him a train ride. And it was, something so like you wouldn't even think of getting this. And I'm so happy they did this for him. And yesterday was the train, they gave it to him. It was a ticket. And he and his father got on the train from where they live, and they just took the train an hour and 20 minutes away. And then my daughter went and picked them up. And it has a picture of, the pictures are so precious. He's got his suitcase. He packed a suitcase and took it on the train. And it's him sitting there looking out the window, just experiencing that.
That's
which he's
magic.
Yeah. And it's been a part of his imagination. Magic. And now he got to experience it.
Yeah.
So that's so cool.
I love it. Yeah. It makes me emotional to hear some stuff like that. Yeah. So I said, what a great parent. Yay.
I know. And sometimes, I used to think as a parent, it's so hard sometimes to be creative. And I love the fact that, you're going to help these kids and get them to be creative and never lose that, because so much of our creativity is kind of beaten down by society. And then we think we get to an age and we think, I'm not creative. And it's like, yeah, you are creative. You just forgot how to use that and tap into that which is creative. Yeah. So, well, I must say, I really miss you, because you're such a light and you're so fun, and you exude so much happiness now. It just emanates from you. And so I love that you're getting to do what you absolutely love, and that clearly you're going to be really great at. So thanks for coming here and updating. Do you want to share anything else before you go?
If it's possible, I'd like to give you the address.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, of your program. And I want to say too, we'll put it in the show notes, but I also want to say that, because I have a lot of listeners who have grandkids. So, if you think that you have grandchildren or a child that has a child, there might be women who have, are older moms. So just because I had them when I was 20 doesn't mean everybody had them when they was 20. So if you think of anybody who could benefit from Nancy's program, it's empowering kids 8 to 10. And that's the actual URL, empowering kids 8 10.com. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm going to go check out your website, because I know you wanted to get some feedback on it.
If I have just one more minute, just to tell parents that I would like people to enroll before January 28th, because during the month of February, I'm going to be up north. and there's no internet over there. And the program starts March 8th. So it would be great if you can join the group before that. And thank you for listening.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Lori, to been kind enough to invite me today. It's a real pleasure. Thanks for everything you did for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue to hang out virtually and at some point meet in person, because, that's something I'm planning to do that this year, have a live event, but who knows who'll be able to be there. But yeah,
okay.
One day we will meet in person and we will physically hug each other, because I'm a big hugger.
Yeah.
So
Good,
anyways, yeah, you'll be bending down since I'm 5'6" and shrinking. So yes, but that's okay. That's okay. I can stand on a box. All right, Nancy, thanks so much for coming and sharing your story. It is a true testament of living authentically, living from a place of authenticity and being aligned with who you're meant to be, and doing it in a way, that, so you can live your best life and do it in a way which, you don't have to deal with any health issues. So
exactly. I'm feeling better and better, and I'm 60 years old.
Yeah. And it's so funny because it's like, to me, it's like an automatic injection in energy
of youth and energy.
Yeah. And people are like, I'm so tired. I'm so I can't get motivated. It's like, because you have nothing to be excited about in your life, and you need to find that. You need that to be the number one thing. And once you find it, it's like nothing. You don't need any drug. You don't need any, and I'm not saying that there's not some people who are truly depressed and drugs do help those people. But, just if you are not somebody who's prone to depression, but you're feeling this, like, as you were, burnt out and sad about things, then dig in and figure out, get in alignment and figure out what it is that lights you up, like Nancy did. Do the work Nancy did. So yeah. All right.
And go ask Lori to help you do it. She's
yes, I'd love to help.
Great.
I love helping me. Yes. All right. But I only want people like you. Action takers. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming. Thank you so much for tuning into the Not Your Average Lives podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe on iTunes if you have an Apple device. You can find free resources and learn what else I have going on at the moment that might interest you on my website at notyouraverage.grandma.com. You can also find me on Instagram or Facebook at Not Your Average Grandma. If you liked this episode, it would make my heart so happy if you could leave me a 5-star rating. You can also add a review to let me know what you like about this podcast, which will help spread the word about it to others who need a little midlife inspiration. As always, be you, listen to your inner voice, and focus on reigniting that lost spark so you can start living your own, not your average life.